think you know what we're talking about today. We're talking about this post. Exploration bonus updates coming to Pokemon Go. Here we go. Trainers! One of the delights of Pokemon Go is finding Pokemon in the real world, walking around, discovering new places, meeting up with groups of friends to raid or battle together. At their core, all of Niantic's games are built around the ideas of exploration, exercise, and playing with friends. We know this, right? So much of the magic of Pokemon Go is everything that happens around the game. The people that you've met over the last 5 years, the places that you've been, the things that you've discovered in your city, in your neighborhood, because of the game. We understand that. We know that. As we said last month, how we all play changed a lot. In the past 15 months, with the onset of the global pandemic, we realized we had to change the model for all our games. We could no longer take going outside and meeting people for granted. Correct. Niantic did a great job of adapting the game to the pandemic, right? People in lockdown, people not able to go outside. They did a really, really good job of adapting the game. We learned a lot. Thank you for coming along with us as we continue to navigate through this together. Today, as some parts of the world are moving toward recovery, we're announcing new exploration bonuses that make it more rewarding to play outside, coming over the next several months, including bonuses for spinning stops, playing in in-person raids, and getting in those steps. Bonuses introduced last year that we plan to remove or change, tested first in the US and New Zealand, followed by other countries and regions based on local conditions. And bonuses introduced last year that we're planning on keeping, including first catch of the day bonuses, Go Battle League, and trainer battle requirements, and more. We'll only remove temporary bonuses introduced last year after Pokemon Go Fest 2021, starting in the United States and New Zealand. We're committed to doing this in a staggered way when it makes sense for each place in the world to help people play safely. As we return to the outside world, again, these changes are aimed at restoring the focus of Pokemon Go on movement and exploration in the real world. So, real quick, I want to stop there to say that this isn't happening everywhere. This isn't happening everywhere all at once. It's only happening after GoFest and starting only in the US and New Zealand. Okay, so all of what you're about to hear initially only applies to those two countries. New Zealand, I totally understand because New Zealand did a great job of containing the pandemic. The US, look, the CDC says that it's okay. California is fully reopened. Most states are fully reopened at this point. We don't have mask mandates anymore. Places are open at full capacity. That's where we are as a country. That's what's been passed down from, the highest level of government. The CDC says it's safe to do things in the US, so Niantic is moving forward with that being the case. So, again, only in the US and New Zealand, and it's not going to start happening anywhere else until it's safe there, right? It's a delicate situation. There's 186 countries in the world, I think, and that's a lot for Niantic to keep track of. So you're not going to see these changes everywhere until it's safe. You're not going to see these changes where you are until it's safe. And I don't know who's deciding what's safe, but that's what they're saying. New exploration bonuses for playing together in the real world. Starting at the end of July, the following bonuses will roll out to trainers again, first in the US and New Zealand. Trainers will receive 2 free raid passes per day from spinning gym photo discs, which is great. No problem there. 2 free raid passes, obviously to encourage you to physically go to a gym and get in range of the gym and get the raid pass instead of just using a remote raid pass. That's fine. Give us free raid passes. I'm all for it. Benefit from increased incense effectiveness while moving, which is fine. Incense kind of sucked, actually, before the pandemic. It wasn't very good unless you were moving. I guess it's kind of going to go back to that. As long as you can still get that increased effectiveness by just, going for a stroll if you're going for a walk around your neighborhood, and you can still get spawns every 90 seconds, I think that's good. Be guaranteed gifts when spinning Pokestops, so long as they've not reached their maximum gift inventory, that's fine. And receive 10 times bonus XP from spinning a Pokestop for the first time. 10 times bonus XP for spinning a new Pokestop. I love that. That obviously that very much encourages people to explore, right? Their exploration bonuses. So 10 times bonus. You know, I'm still level 48 here. These bonuses will end when the season of Discovery wraps up September 1st, 2020. So they start at the end of July. That gives us all of August, and that's it. So these bonuses really only last for August. Some of these bonuses may stay rolling into the following season, and new bonuses will become available as well. So hopefully a lot of those continue into the new season. We'll make these bonuses available in other countries and regions as it's safe to do so. Alright, we understand that every place is different. Rest assured, we will be monitoring the situation and activating appropriate bonuses when and where available. Okay, now we get into the not so fun part of the announcement here. Bonuses introduced last year that we plan to remove or change. Over the next few months, we're planning to remove or change some of the bonuses. Starting after GoFest in the US and New Zealand, remove or change them on a rolling basis in other countries and regions over time. Over the past year, incense effectiveness was increased to attract Pokemon more frequently, even if you weren't able to leave home. After the change, this effectiveness will be set at the standard level when you're stationary, and increased effectiveness will kick in when you are moving. So they don't say they're changing the actual effectiveness, right? So you should still get a spawn every 90 seconds as long as you're moving. And again, I hope that that's like walking speed. But if you're stationary, it'll be back to once every 5 minutes. And again, this is only in the US and New Zealand right now. Only in the US and New Zealand. So if you're anywhere else, if you're still on lockdown, the incense is still going to work the way that it works right now. They're not changing incense for anyone who's still in lockdown. Previously, your buddy Pokemon brought you more gifts each day. You're just going to get less gifts, less items from your buddy, which is fine. I mean, that wasn't really that's not a deal breaker for me. But here we go. Wow, this one. Previously, Pokestop and gym interaction distances were increased to enable people to engage from further away. After this change, the distance will revert back to the standard distance when it makes sense in different places, though may be increased during future events and as part of certain features. The gym and Pokestop interaction radius is going back to what it was. And I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think anyone really thinks it's a good idea in the community. And look, before we get into this, I want to know your thoughts about it, but I want to know your thoughts in a constructive way, right? So remove emotion from the equation. Remove emotional language from your feedback, because it doesn't help to get angry. It helps to explain why you think something is a bad idea. It helps to explain how a change, this change, or any change hurts you or hinders you. It helps to explain rationally, right? It doesn't help to just get angry and vent and use emotionally charged language. It doesn't help to bash people. It doesn't help to threaten people. And people in this case, it means people who work at Niantic, right? You have to remember that every time you are commenting something, whether it's a reply to a Niantic Twitter post or in any other forum on the internet, there is a human being, there's another person just like you on the other end who is reading and receiving that comment. So I think it's just something important to keep in mind, no matter what you're doing on the internet, that when you are talking to people, when you're saying things on the internet, there are actual human people who are taking that in, and that's, just right. Keep that in mind. So be constructive, right? Describe, say, this is a bad idea because it prevents me from doing this. This is a bad idea because I can no longer do this. And I think that's a good way to provide feedback, right? Harassment doesn't help. It's not going to get us anywhere. Just keep it constructive, right? As for my thoughts on the Pokestop and gym interaction radius decrease or returning to normal, I can think of one reason, really, right? Because I don't think that it hurts the game. I don't think that the increased Pokestop and gym distance breaks the game. I don't think it discourages people from going out. I don't think that being able to spin a Pokestop or gym from a little bit further away discourages exploration in any way. The only reason that I can really think that this would be a thing is because if I can spin a Starbucks Pokestop or a 7-Eleven Pokestop from a block away, from like the other side of the block, then I'm less likely to actually walk into that Starbucks or walk into that 7-Eleven and buy something. The only reason I can think is that the increased distance makes sponsored Pokestops less effective and therefore less lucrative, right? If people are spinning the Starbucks Pokestop from way down the street, they're just less likely to buy something at Starbucks. I don't know. That was like the first thought that came to mind. Like, why would Niantic really need to revert this Pokestop distance? Is it because people aren't interacting with their sponsors? I don't know. That was my initial thought. I want to know what you think. Let me know. There's also been whispers of premium subscription services. There's people thinking that they might make it a paid feature in the future. And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? Anything that comes through in a data mine is subject to change, right? We don't know any details of that. That could be the case, but I don't know. None of that stuff is official yet, so it's hard to say. But again, I don't see how being able to spin Pokestops and gyms from further away breaks the game in any way. Most people, the number of people, the number of players who can reach a gym or a Pokestop from home, whether the distance is 40 meters or 80 meters, is not significant, I don't think, right? There's still tons of players who are rural or even suburban, and if your nearest Pokestop is a mile away, even if it's 500 meters away, you still have to go outside to spin that, and I think that's the case for a lot of people. Anyone who lives outside of a really dense urban area still probably, with the increased distance, still probably can't reach a Pokestop from home, right? I would be willing to bet that 80% of people watching this video right now can't reach a Pokestop from home. At least. So for most people, the increased radius isn't preventing them. It's not stopping them from going outside, right? You still have to go out to your nearest Pokestop to spin it. What the increased radius has done, really, is made the game more accessible. It's made the world of Pokemon Go easier to navigate. I'm sure a lot of you have Pokestops that are kind of difficult to reach, right? You might have to climb a lot of stairs to get in range of it, or it might be kind of across a busy street or highway from where you normally play. and because of the increased radius, you can now reach that Pokestop without having to cross that highway, or without having to climb those stairs. It's just made it's such a small but like significant quality of life improvement to the game that's really made it so much more accessible to a lot of players. And I don't think it has the effect of preventing people or discouraging people from still going out to explore. That's the main thing here in this announcement that I think most people are upset about. And honestly, I feel like rightfully so, right? Like I said, it's not game breaking. If someone has 20 Pokestops in their neighborhood or nearby around them, if you still want to go out and spin the Pokestops, you still have to go out. It's very few people are really staying indoors as a result of this specific change, right? Very few people out of the entire Pokemon Go player base can reach a Pokestop from home and don't go outside to play the game because of that. I don't know. I feel like it's a money-driven decision, but like I said, I can't be sure. I don't know. Let me know what you think. That's what I think. Let's continue. Remote raids have become an important part of the game this past year, and we're going to continue evolving them. Our intention is to find the right balance between remote play and in-person play, so stay tuned for more details in the coming months. Many of these in-person raid changes will be to prepare for the eventual return of EX raids. Now, personally, and honestly this is probably a pretty objective opinion, remote raids discourage exploration far more than an increased Pokestop radius does. Because if there are 20 Pokestops in the neighborhood and I want to go out and spin Pokestops and get items, I still have to go out and walk to them. I still have to walk within 80 meters of the Pokestop that's 5 streets down. I still have to walk to get there. But if there's a raid at the gym that's 5 blocks away, I can be plopped right here on my couch, use a remote raid pass, and I don't have to go there. So remote raids hurt exploration or discourage exploration far, far more than the increased Pokestop radius does. So we've known since the beginning that remote raids are going to get nerfed eventually, and that's fine. You know, Niantic's not entirely removing them. I don't think they could, right? If Niantic said we're removing remote raids, there would be even more backlash than just reducing the Pokestop interaction radius. And we've known that these changes were coming, and that's fine. I think in the back of our minds, we've all been mentally prepared for that. They're not going away entirely, and that's fine. But again, remote raids discourage exploration far more, so much more, than being able to spin a Pokestop from a little bit further away. Bonuses introduced last year that we're planning on keeping. Incense duration will remain at 60 minutes. Great. No walking requirement for Go Battle League. Great. There's been a huge boom in PvP content on Twitch, on YouTube, because of this, and I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy to see people being able to succeed in that in the Go Battle League world, content creation world because of it. So I'm glad that is staying that way. You're not going to have to walk to do your battles. You can challenge any trainer remotely with a QR code, and the requirement to battle with friends remotely has been lowered to good friends. It's great. The maximum number of gifts you can carry will remain at 20. Great. Trainers will be able to open up to 30 gifts per day. Great. You'll continue to receive 3 times the Stardust and XP for your first Pokemon catch of the day. Great. It's all fine. It's all fine. Honestly, pretty much everything in this announcement is fine and understandable, except this. It's been a great accessibility, quality of life change. It doesn't discourage exploration. And don't understand. I don't understand why. So that's it. That's it. I'm making this video because I want to hear what you think. I want you to leave a comment down below and let me know so that I can share that feedback with Niantic, because that is something that I'm able to do. Usually when something like this happens, when a change happens or an announcement happens that a lot of the community isn't happy about, there's always these calls for like, the YouTubers need to make videos, need to be angry about this or whatever it is, right? People want to see us talk about it, and I just want to remind you that we do get to share feedback directly with Niantic. We've been doing this, a lot of us, for 5 years now. We've built this relationship with Niantic, so luckily we are able to have that kind of direct communication where we can pass on feedback, and I assure you that we do, especially on issues like this that are such a big deal in the community. Whether it's myself, Zoe 2 Dots, Mystic 7, Reversal, any number of content creators, we get to share that feedback directly with Niantic. So if you don't see us making a stink about it on Twitter, that doesn't mean that we don't care. That doesn't mean that we're not looking out for the community, because we are. Us tweeting something kind of inflammatory or incendiary, that's just going to get people riled up, that doesn't help. Piling on to the hate comments, the harassment, that doesn't help, especially when we have this direct line of communication that we can utilize. So please leave a comment down below. Let me know your feelings, so that I can share that with Niantic. And again, try to keep it constructive. Remove emotion from the equation, remove emotion from your comment, and just describe why this change or any change in this announcement hurts you, helps you. How does it make your life easier? How does it make your life harder? How does it improve your gameplay experience? How does it make your gameplay experience worse? Just describe that in simple terms, right? And I'll be very happy to share that feedback with Niantic. So, yeah, that's that. That's what's going on right now in the world of Pokemon Go. But for all of you who are still around, trailer update, you might have noticed there is a countertop behind me. Take a look at this. It looks great. Nice clean white countertop. Really just ties everything together. I sealed it a couple days ago with silicone. I didn't do a great job. I had a bit of a struggle because the gap on this side is so much bigger than on that side. But I figured it out. We got everything in. The hardware. Oh, jeez. The hardware is on the doors. Struts to keep the doors open up top. Beautiful. Electrical is coming to life. There's a few loose wires in there, but I was wiring things up, starting to get some lights in here. I do have lights. It's not all of the lights, but I do have the first set of LEDs installed. And out here, if I open up my hatch, I've got a drawer. I spent a day building that drawer under the bed to make use of the space, which is not super accessible right now, or wasn't. And now with the drawer in place, it's a little extra storage for things like camping chairs or stabilizer jacks, stuff that I'll typically only use when I'm outside of the trailer. Now, I have a complete mess in here, but the next step is to build more drawers, which is what I'm going to do today. have a problem, as I often do in this trailer. This space, I failed to account for the fact that this space is not square. It's not square. This thing is kind of slanted. It kind of curves back that way. Are you yelling at me? Nothing's square, right? My solution is to put this together outside and see what happens. Try to get it in here assembled.
Are you putting this on TV?
YouTube.
Oh.
Is that not impressive?
I guess so.
Would you rather be on TV?
No. Well, I am on TV.
Yeah, I know you are. Okay. The drawers are in. They're not quite perfectly straight, but we're gonna deal with it. Like I said, nothing in this trailer is perfectly square. They're in. They open. They close. Obviously, I have to make faces for them. Drawer faces that will match the rest of this. But I'm gonna do that tomorrow because it's late. But at least I get to turn the lights on. Ooh, how about the night light? Alright. More work to be done.